shabby. Alright guys, we're going to start the safety checks on these new arrivals with the 87 Trans Am GTA. This thing is an absolute time capsule. A little bit of normal seepage that they always have, especially being this old, but I mean this thing looks like a 9,000 mile car. It's accurate. It's all original stuff. The original air tubes, not even rotted off, all the emissions crap they had back then. The factory crappy welding jobs they did back then. A little bit of peeling of the undercoat here. You see the super clean floors, so we'll just redo that on both sides. Everything is looking absolutely mint under here. If you didn't know, back then on these top tier fully loaded cars with all the good package, the drums are actually aluminum. A little bit of reduced weight technology for drum brakes. But underneath here looks pretty absolutely amazing. So I'm also looking underneath the body here to see. It definitely does not look like it's been repainted at all. This is all factory original. This is really nice. I will say the tires need to be changed. So we have a date code of 2011 on this one. I believe it's 2002 on the other side. And the two rears are, what are they, 2011, I believe? Where are we? Where's my DOT? Yeah, we got 2011. Okay. Also, it's got same rear tires, but the two front tires are different from each other and from the rears. So we'll probably put a set of correct BFGs or Eagles. Yeah, this is a Kumo Solus. Screw that tire. But yeah, we'll do a correct set of Goodyear Eagles or BFG TAs. We'll see what we can get. But I mean, other than that, the brakes are all mint. There's tons of brake pad left. It doesn't look like they're pulsating or anything. Everything up here looks super clean. I'm going to check all the fluids, do an oil change, check the transmission fluid, probably do a brake flush just because it's been sitting for so long. And then we'll take it out for a drive and we'll see how this thing runs and drives. Pretty impressed, pretty psyched. This thing is awesome. I would so take this car in a heartbeat. Like I said in the other video, I'm not a huge convertible fan, but I still would probably, let me put it this way, if the IROC wasn't up there, this would be the car I would be going for. But the IROC is up there, so the IROC is the one I'm going to go for. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. So let me do some work. I got a couple of customer cars to look at, and then we'll go take this thing for a test drive and see how it runs and drives. All right, ladies and gents, I'm gonna go for a ride in the GTA. Oh, heat works beautifully. So heat and AC are both good. I did notice the rear speakers are toast, so we'll be replacing those with some factory replacements, not actual like GM, but you know, factory equivalents. But it's cool. The equalizers and everything work on the radio. What do we got here? Just under a quarter tank of gas, so we should be good. Pop-up headlights work. Pop-up headlights! Yeah, it's gonna be some little rattles and stuff from the top. It's an 87. My God, does this bring me back to graduating high school in 1994. Oh, so listen for any drivetrain noises. Hubs all sound good. Transmission sounds good. No skips from the engine. Like I said, it's an 87, so there's going to be some rattles in here. And it's all mostly to do to this convertible top. But cruising right along, we're right into 4th gear with no problem. Temperature look good. Oil pressure's kick-ass. Holy shit. What's that, 30, 55, 58 oil pressure, PSI oil pressure, somewhere around there? That's fantastic. Definitely gonna do some tires. The tires have a little vibration, but like I said, they're all well over 10 years old. Some of them even more, like closer to, over 20. 2002 is one of them, so 22 years old? Woohoo! So those will be getting replaced. Let's check the brakes out. Brakes feel awesome. No pulsation. That's beautiful. Which it shouldn't be. They're totally not rusted. And very, very rarely did you ever get pulsation on these types, which was a conical bearing inside the whole assembly, not a bolt-on hub, because there's nothing for rust to get between and force the rotor out and cause the pulsation. The only way these things usually pulsate is if they sit outside for long periods of time and the rotors physically rust, which, as you saw underneath this thing, there's no rust. It's beautiful. My God, I love this thing. It really brings back so many memories. So far, everything feels fantastic. Slight alignment. The steering wheel is just barely off, but you know what? I think I'm actually going to do the tires first, because these tires are so old and hard that they may be causing the tracking issue. It's just barely off center. So I'm going to do the tires first and then retest drive it after that. Yeah, what are we at? We're at about 35. Might need to do an oil pressure sender. It's jumping around a little bit. So that's no big deal. That's easy to do. So we're at 35 or so hot idle. Speedometer's great. So this has, right now, staring at it, 9,811 miles. So 9,811 miles. So nice. But yeah, actually listening, nothing is making any rattles except for this convertible top. So I'm actually going to pull into this remote lot over here that we have and just do a quick once over and make sure there's no leaks, no smoking or anything from any of the engine area, because I have no idea when the hell this was driven last time. So we'll just pull in here real quick, do a quick once over. See where this idle is at now that it's warmed up. Perfect, that's where it was. So it was hanging a little high. I know these take a while to come down, but I wasn't sure if maybe it was a sticky IAC or not, because this is IAC controlled. But yeah, the oil pressure gauge is jumping around. So we're at 30 hot idle oil pressure, but I'm gonna have to put a sensor in it, because that's definitely sensor related. But like glove box, all that stuff works. This is awesome. This is like going back in time. All right, let me take a quick look under the engine, see what we got here, if anything. Nope, everything looks and smells good. And I see no smoke from any oil leaks or anything. I think we're good to go to head back to the dealership, and I can start writing this one up. The car is just so cool. Man, I love third gens. All right, so let's see, we're in there, overdrive. Should probably actually manually shift this thing down through. Yeah, we're in first. Yeah, this second, third and fourth I know work, so we know all the gears work good manually shifting. You know what I have not tried yet is I have not tried the e-brake. So let's see. E-brake is good. That is awesome. All right. Go back, do a light check, do a thorough write-up on all the little things that I found and see what we are and what we aren't fixing. Get some good tires ordered. Get the, well, test drive it again and then see if I need to do an alignment. And we're doing the 88 IROC next, because that's going out to have a little bit of paint correction done. So they want me to blast that one out next, and because I'm only here today and tomorrow, and then I'm in New York for Ferrari training, or more Ferrari training, to get my master certification. And then I will be even more awesomer than I already am. And yes, awesomer is a word. All right, kick down works. I mean, these cars were no monsters. This was, you know, deep into the emissions age, and these poor things were choked out so badly by air injection and cats and EGR and all that crap. And but they were good. They did what they needed to do back then. The 5-liter Mustangs of the time just had a much bigger following and a much easier bolt-on regimen to get them to go fast. These things did not, partly because of the tune port injection, but they still were fun as hell. I loved mine. Yeah, so I got a little bit of tire vibration here, which I figured I was going to. Who knows how long they've been sitting to be flat spotted and whatnot. And actually, when I filled them up this morning, they were all sitting about 10 PSI. So they've probably been like that forever. There's no dry rot on them, so they're not leaking air. It's just, you know, after a long time, air does eventually find its way out from long-term storage. But yeah, this is awesome. I'm totally thrilled. Whoever buys this thing is going to get a sweet-ass time capsule. You know what I didn't check? I didn't check to see if the speedometer's reading right. So let's do that. Let's see, we are going about 50. Yes, we are going 50. All right. Speedometer's reading right. One more thing off the list. It's running a little on the cool side. So I'm going to let it idle when I get back there. It might need a thermostat. That might be stuck from being closed all these years. Or open, I mean. From being sitting all these years. Yep, every rattle I'm hearing is all just from this convertible top. The body is good, the doors are good, the windows are good. Everything I hear is just the top. It's definitely got shit fuel in it because she's pinging away right now. So I also am, I think I'm going to drain the tank and put some fresh, clean fuel in it with a fresh, clean fuel filter. We're going to go through all fluids and filters, basically, and see what needs to be done and what doesn't. Oil's definitely getting changed. Transmission fluid looks brand new, so I don't know if somebody has changed it recently or not. Oil doesn't look bad either, but I don't go by trust. Oh, there's actually an oil sticker here. Yeah, this was due at 12,600 miles or 10/26/21. So we'll be doing an oil change. But let me actually look. Let me do some math real quick on this temperature gauge. So let's see. 220 minus 100 is 120. Divided by 2 equals 60. So 100 plus 60. So that's 160. So no, this is running right at thermostat temp. So we're good. Okay. No shit. So we're pretty good. I mean, this car is overall pretty goddamn solid. Just got to do some normal maintenance stuff to it, which includes tires. It's part of normal maintenance. Everything works. The power mirrors, power doors, windows work, all that crap. You know, I didn't check. Got to make sure the cigarette lighter works, because this baby's got an ashtray. That's not something you see anymore. Tape deck. Unbelievable. I would love to test that out, but who has a tape anymore? All right, that works. Sweet. Oh, I think we got a business card down there. I'm going to have to dig that out and see what that is. That might be a nice timepiece. All right, so I'm going to pull it in now and start doing a slight write-up on it. Sweet. Let me do a whole bunch of preliminary checks, check the timing, check everything else, make sure everything's all good, and do a write-up. All right, guys, we're done with the safety check on the Trans Am. I went through it all. Tires I quoted up. I fixed the door lock. Got that all situated and mounted correctly. You know, maintenance items, fuel filter, PCV. The air filter is fine. I pulled the plugs. Some plugs, they're totally fine. I think they were replaced at some point not too long ago. Timing was off, so I set the timing correctly, and it is idling a million times better. And it didn't even idle bad before, so we were off about 5 degrees on the timing. And the oil pressure senders are on there to be ordered. You can see it's kinda doing a little fluctuating thingy. Let's see if it jumps. It's not really jumping that much now. There we go. So we got those coming for that. There's 2 of them on here. One is for ECM information. One is for gauge cluster. They're cheap money. We're just doing both of them. Oil change. Transmission fluid looks brand spanking new. Brakes are fine. I had this bow for the top. This was completely out of here and loose. Turns out there's a roll pin behind here that had just worked its way out, so that is back in with some Loctite. So that's not going to move now. We're going to let the boss man make a judgment call on the rear speakers because they are blown. But now I'm going to put this back into storage up over there, and we're going to pull the 88 IROC out, and we're going to start looking at that one. Welcome to the IROC. Love this thing. God. I did say I love the other one. It brought me back to my just after high school days, but this thing, this is, I mean, you know, all these old Camaros were exactly the same in the interior. Just had a different badge over here. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. So it did give me a little bit of a problem starting up. It took a lot of cranks to get it going. So I'm gonna have to check fuel filter and fuel pressure and make sure. Just felt like the fuel pressure wasn't coming up as fast as it should have. Took a couple times to prime. So I'm gonna take a look at that. Take a look at everything else on it. It's already idling down perfect. Make sure all this stuff works. Yep, okay. All right, I'm gonna pull it in, put it on the lift first, and give it a good once over visually before I throw the plate on it and take it for a drive. All right, so more or less the same as the GTA. Obviously, this one has been repainted, and we knew about that. It's got 30,000 miles on it. We kind of were doubting this was the original paint, and it actually, I believe it disclosed in the sale that it's been repainted. We'll clean all that over, spray up. This ball joint is junk. It's got a lot of play in it, like enough where I could feel it, just barely checking it. This shock squeaks over bumps, so we're going to be pricing out that shock. This car is disc rear. This is an 88, so a few differences they had is disc rear, and we are no longer V-belts like the other car. We are a single serpentine belt. But, I mean, all in all, everything's good. The tires are 2014, so we're going to price those out. They are the correct size on this car, though. And I'm going to put it back down and look at all the fluids. Automatic, it's getting an oil change. Going to check the transmission fluid and the coolant and all that. But it's looking equally as clean as the 87. I'm going to go take it for a ride after I let it warm up outside and see how this one drives. All right, one thing I got to go back out to the GTA and look is make sure the spare tire's there, because I forgot about this. It's been so long since we have cars with spare tires anymore. Everything's got an inflator pump now, but the back end of that is cut all differently because it's the convertible conversion. I don't remember seeing this back there, so I'm gonna have to go look. All right, let's go do my second test drive of the day, and probably gonna be my final of the week, because like I said, I'm gone for the last 3 days of the week. They wanted to get the two third gens safety checked so we can get all the parts coming for them, which isn't a lot. So when I get back, I can hammer these out. They can get the finalized price up on the website. Timing was off on this one too. Apparently people just have something against proper timing settings. Let me put some heat on here because it's 30 degrees out. I think it's like actually warmed up to about 45. All right, that should be good. All right, everything looked good underneath except for that loose ball joint over there, which is not going to fall off. It's just probably going to have some clunks over bumps. Geez, that means I can bring my ball joint installation tool set back in now. I haven't had a reason to use it because everything just replaces a control arm now. I expect this one to have some rattles just because it's got 30,000 miles on it. Nope, I got to tighten this rearview mirror. Wow, this thing actually rides super nice too. So this one has the correct size tires on it, the 245 50 16s. Actually, I think this one rides better than the GTA only because it has less body flex because it's not a convertible. Nice and quiet for a third gen. So all the gauges seem to be good and working on this one and function how they're supposed to. We're running right at thermostat temp. Got 13.5 volts. We're cruising right now. We got almost 50 psi. Tires could use a balance. I'm gonna see if they want to do tires or not. I would, just because they're DOT stamped 2014. I'm not going to pay too much mind to this. The steering wheel is almost dead straight, but not going to pay too much mind to it because, like I said, I got to do a ball joint and then I'm doing an alignment automatically after that. Brakes feel good. I don't feel any brake pulsation. A little bit of tire vibration, so they might. These cars sit forever, so they flat spot a little bit. I mean, my Cadillac does the same thing. Got this guy in a Jeep driving next to me because he wants to get a look at the 30,000 mile IROC Z28. Because when you got one of these, or the GTA, that's super clean like that, it gets a lot of attention. You don't see them anymore. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go up to the remote parking lot up here. And then we're going to give it a quick look over to make sure there's no smoking, no leaks. Underneath of this was pretty leak-free too. It looks like it might have a new fuel filter, but I'm not going to take that at face value, so I'm going to replace that. And we're going to do the same thing, drain this tank and put fresh fuel in it because we don't know how long it's been in there. It hasn't started up hard for me since that very first start. So I'm going to check a couple of things. I'm going to pull the vacuum reference off of the fuel regulator and make sure the diaphragm's not punctured and it's not leaking through. And then I'm going to check fuel pressure. Anytime we want to do the speed limit would be awesome. But as you can hear, it's got some rattles in the back, or some squeaks. One of those is that rear shock. Oh, we got an 18-wheeler up here. That's why we're going 10 miles an hour. But overall, this one's, I'd say, just as tight as the 87 that's only got 9,000 miles on it. This has, right now on the clock, 30,204 miles. That's pretty nutty for an 88. And here I am thinking my 09 is low mileage with, what, I got 62,000 I think on it now on my Cadillac. So we will go up here, check everything out, and then I'll give it some throttle on the way back and make sure kickdown works, it doesn't have any drivability issues, any of that kind of stuff. Man, I don't know if this picking it up through the microphone, but it's got the old school flasher, and you hear that tinny tick 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 as it's hitting the directionals. Man, that brings back like just the old home feeling. Everything's electronic now, and the only noises that are there are noises that are put there by the speakers on purpose through the BCM. Yeah, I mean, it feels great. Let's just take a look under the hood, make sure everything's good. Man, the front end of these cars are just beautiful. I love them. Yeah, this thing looks absolutely mint. There's a crack in the radiator core support upper mount thing here, which is part of the whole fan assembly, so I'm going to see if we can take that off and plastic weld that back together. But yeah, everything else looks good. Doesn't smell like any burnt oil, doesn't look like any oil's leaking. Alright, let's head back. I think I gotta adjust that hood just a little bit. It's fully latched, I just don't like the position it's in. Alrighty, good old 700 R4 transmission with its I believe it was a 3.06 first gear. It was like granny gear and what was the word I'm looking for? I'm looking around too while I'm talking, in a standard. But yeah, that rear shock is making some serious noise back there. So they are the factory GM Bilstein edition shocks for this thing. But we should be able to find something. If not, we can just put a new set of current Bilsteins in it. My antenna, speakers work, but the power antenna does not raise, so reception is a little iffy. But this has factory speaker locations front and rear, not unlike the convertible. I think it actually idles smoother than the GTA. winds right up. We'll have to see after I get up past the rotary here how the kickdown gear is. God, this car would be so fun with an LSA and a TR6060. Handles great though. I mean, me, if I was to buy this car, even though I said I wouldn't go and swap it just because it's such a low mileage car, it'll probably be an LSA, a TR6060, some kind of full bolt-on road race suspension, and I would be doing LEDs all the way around, taking the whole rear taillights apart and making some kind of custom LED sequential board in it. And rack and pinion, obviously, with an aftermarket K member. If everybody would please get out of my way so I can do the speed limit, that would be great. We're doing 40 right now. It's a 50-mile-an-hour road. Oh, that would be why. You got a guy that wants to dart across 3 lanes to make the exit. Idiot. And we got this guy here that's going 40 or under. Yeah, there's definitely some tire vibration, but I'm not going to be too worried about that because I'd like to replace these tires to a current, not only a current date code tire, but current technology tire, because these are old technology tires. They're definitely not going to handle as well. Not like, you know, a 16-inch tire is going to be amazing at handling, but a current 16-inch tire is going to be a lot better than these 2014 16s. We're cruising right along here. We're at 55. It's so weird seeing a speedometer that only goes to 145 when mine goes to 200. So I'm going to do my turnaround here and come out of it at a normal speed and let it downshift it, or yeah, downshift into fourth. I almost wanted to say upshift, and then I'm going to hit it and see how kickdown works. This is perfect because nobody's in my way. Beautiful. It's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Might not hit 4 because we're not going fast enough, but let's see. Oh, kicks right down. That's beautiful. Awesome. Well, we're going to pull it back in. I'm going to do some more checks inside and outside and see what I need to do for fluids and whatnot. And like I said, check that fuel pressure regulator and those couple other things. And put this one out back and wait for parts to get here. And then do some work on some Maseratis. Yay! That rear shock is just singing back there. It's just a little beep, 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 over every bump. Right there again. Awesome though. Super happy with these cars so far. Somebody's gonna really enjoy these things. God, this makes me feel like I'm 17 again.
Alrighty.